It starts with me?
It is right now.
It starts with 1.
Huh. I'm Martin Wallace.
I'm Darren McCarthy.
And I'm Dan Fury, and this is The Fundamentals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did it.
Here we are.
Yeah, nice job. We
All right.
nailed the intro.
Yeah. Back at it.
I was a little worried about that one.
Yeah, we always are.
How many in between all three of us together have there been? 4? 5?
Lately?
Yeah.
Not a lot.
Just
the LDS ones since.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Yeah, I was there for those.
Yeah.
You were
I
there?
don't know if you remember. But that was with 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, here we all
Well,
are together.
I know sometimes you just black out. Wake up afterwards, don't know how many there were.
Somebody was there. I don't know. Well, I was told there was going to be pink blush.
Yeah. I went to a fancier store, not thinking.
Got to go to Safeway.
I know. Oh,
That's
yeah.
where the good stuff is.
That's where it all happened.
Yeah.
But
In fact, where it did happen.
No. Although part of that story was they don't even have that Andre
That
Blush.
pink Andre.
Blush.
That's true.
That pink
It's pink
drink.
Andre.
Yeah.
Pink Andre, I drink.
They don't even have it that I drink. So how could I steal it from this
They don't
Safeway?
even have that pink
They don't even
Andre,
have my
I drink.
stuff.
So
Unbelievable.
I already know they don't have it at that Safeway. I should have gone to
point.
Fred Meyer.
Yeah, why would
Good
I
point.
steal it? Y'all don't even have it.
How? I
What are you
don't
looking
have,
at me
I don't
for?
have magic.
What's great is, as far as I can recall, he walked into the store saying that. Like, immediately being accused of stealing. And
It was
like,
pretty quick.
Yeah, it was like walking to get more groceries with somebody following him being like, you need to leave, sir. And he's like, y'all don't even have that pink Andre.
There was
Don't worry
and
about
there
it,
was a
me.
getaway car waiting. Like
Yeah.
there was a car running right outside the door that he just got into.
Mhm.
So he was definitely looking for some pink Dre.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But they didn't have it.
Well,
And neither do we.
if they did and he drank all of it, what do you think he would do with those bottles?
Right? We would hope they'd put them in that damn recycling bin.
Yeah.
Hey, put cigarettes in him.
Hey, reuse.
Yeah.
Which
Reuse.
is, not recycling.
But as we'll get to, that's probably better.
Foreshadowing. I like
You know.
it before we've even mentioned the topic.
Yeah.
Hey, we foreshadowed.
The conclusion is going to be reduce and reuse.
Mm-hmm.
Recycle whatever you can, but the problem is,
Stop making more.
big time.
We can't.
We can't.
Why?
Well,
Is this one of those
Let's
limited
get into it.
resources things?
limited, space on the planet.
Mhm.
Just keep putting more shit in it.
It's just way more expensive to make new stuff too. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
very counterproductive to just keep making new stuff and throwing it away. It's like it's basically 25% of the energy to just reuse it or recycle it. So every time you,
Yeah, but I don't want something that somebody else has had.
Soiled.
Just like
Products.
in general.
you want the new stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I feel like,
So we're talking about recycling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hey.
Guys.
And just to be clear, I'm completely against it.
right.
Okay. All right. We can go with that.
Yeah, I think it's some liberal sham.
Yeah. Snowflake nonsense. Well, you're kind of right.
Yeah.
It's almost a
Where's
As
it
much of a
going?
problem as
It's
it is a
going on a
solution.
boat and it's going to China.
well, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Where is it going to go? Thailand? Singapore?
Other Asian countries will
Right.
pick it up. Yeah.
Vietnam. Actually, I think they just put some restrictions on it too.
Yeah.
The China problem is a big one. Let's get into it. So recycling. When I think of recycling, because we live in Oregon, one of the 10 states that do the bottle return, I think of taking our cans and bottles and getting money back.
I didn't realize we were so rare. I mean,
I know.
Oregon was the first state actually that offered a deposit that you would get back in the 70s. I think.
Great idea.
Yeah.
cool. Is that, how long have we been doing that? In the 70s? And we were
70s
the first?
was the first
Mhm.
bottle deposit.
Let's see,
And it was 5 cents forever. And then, like 5 years ago, they upped it to 10 cents.
That was just last year, man.
Was it last year?
Mhm.
Wow.
California's been 10 cents for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
2017 went up to 10 cents, and we started it in 1972. Were we first? Yeah. Vermont was
so-
right after.
Do we see substantially higher rates of can and
Yeah.
bottle recycling
Yeah,
here in
it's-
these states than in the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
What do they do with them? They just put them in the landfill.
Yep.
And what?
Or there might be recycling, but there's no deposit, so you don't get any money back. So people will, if there is a recycling program, they can still recycle them, but they're just not getting. It's not as.
I guess that's my question. Because of this program, do we see significantly higher rates of recycling in general with these products?
I don't know about in general, but
The redemption rate for in total is 73% in Oregon.
yeah, it's pretty good.
That
pretty
seems
good.
pretty high. Yeah.
Because even if you or I are failing to do this, somebody's going through your bottles outside immediately.
I don't rate, our neighborhood's a little quieter now, but when we lived in Southeast, I didn't even bother putting any cans or bottles in the blue bin. I did put them all in the glass bin because it was just like, I just don't want to wake up to having paper
Yeah.
ripped out in all of my driveway.
Yeah, that happens. Leave it wide open.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, let's make it easy,
I used to do that until people were coming right up on my back deck
Yeah.
to take them out of that bin, and I had to put a kibosh on that.
Yeah.
So now I just take them every week or so down to the local store, get a few bucks
Get some money.
because we got a lot of them in this house.
Yeah.
How much do you make a month doing that?
How much do I make? Well, I guess I do make it because I recycle all the bottles from this house. But if I go 4 or 5 times, that's $12.
And have you timed the amount of hours you put into that per month?
No, I walked it. I mean, like 3 blocks down the street.
That's like at least 10 minutes, right?
I'm going to go there anyway. I'm just taking down the recyclables.
He's basically using that money to buy another 6-pack beer.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
Sounds
So-
like a vicious cycle of addiction to me.
Yeah. Sounds crippling.
Don't
Sounds
really.
like
Not really
state
seeing any
is
positives.
enabling me.
Yeah.
You have a point.
Why don't you buy some lottery tickets with that money and better your situation?
Mm-hmm.
Man, I'm really glad you're here.
Powerball.
That's a great idea. Powerball. That's great. The
You get
state-
rich, you never need to recycle again.
You use the state's recycling
Except for this
program.
body. And once you upload,
Yeah.
the,
Put me in the cloud.
yeah.
Use the state's recycling program to buy the state's lottery tickets. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa.
It's good for the state.
Yeah.
Oregon's tax papers made you a billionaire. Wow. It's great.
Cool.
So what happens once you put the bottle or the can into the machine?
Great question.
Yeah.
Goes to what's called a MRF.
Mm-hmm.
It's a material reclamation facility. That's what it stands for. MRF.
Sure.
Yeah, of course, MRF.
And that's
Ah, yes.
basically that's where it all goes and gets sorted. And there's a couple videos online that are pretty fun. I don't know if we can add that in
Sure.
now.
Thanks.
Yeah, watch this video currently.
Yeah.
We don't get flagged for that?
No, it's fair use
Yeah.
most of the time.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah, but essentially you have like all this. It depends on what kind of recycling program your city is a part of or your municipality is a part of. So there's single stream and there's dual stream. So single stream is pretty much what we have here.
Mm-hmm.
Everything goes into a bin, and then it goes and gets sorted somewhere else. Other places you have to sort everything, like paper, plastic,
Which is ideal.
which is ideal. Yeah,
It's more of a hassle though.
it's more of a hassle. So
So I
less
imagine there's less actual
participation.
rates
Yeah.
of recycling in those instances.
Oh yeah, I mean, in doing this research, there's countless videos of people walking up to like a bin for trash and then paper and plastic next
Yeah.
to it, and just like
Who
throwing
cares?
stuff on the ground in front of it, like not even into any one of the
Yeah,
bins.
choice paralysis. I'm not here to think.
Yeah.
I'm here to
Well,
just get this out of my
Like,
hands.
the more restrictions or rules placed in front of you, if you have the option to just say fuck it, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Or it's too confusing.
Or
Like, why
it's
do
too
I have to
confusing.
wait, this goes in this one? Why wouldn't it go? Who cares?
Yeah, and I think that we'll get into the plastic recycling because that's the conundrum. That's the real tricky thing. I think
Yeah.
paper is pretty straightforward. If it's paper, it's not food soiled. It's probably fine.
The problem with the single stream is putting paper in with other stuff that might have leftover liquids or whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to contaminate it, and then
At these facilities, though, they're the more recent, more high tech ones that are coming online now. They are pretty advanced. And they use it's a sequence of machines and sensors and technologies that like automatically sort literally tons of
So
material.
much.
And way more efficiently and faster than like human beings could ever do. So you have this like a conveyor belt probably going like 20 miles an hour. I don't know. It looks pretty fast. It's just like stuff flying by faster than you and I could ever like just pick stuff out. And there's some really advanced places that use sensors, like optical sensors that are picking up what spectrum of light this material is kicking back. So they know what kind of plastic it is, if it is plastic, if it's glass, if it's paper, if, whatever it is. And this might actually be like in the middle of the sequence. Like typically there's like these wheels that are going around. Anything that's somewhat two-dimensional will kind of get carried up that wheel. And then three-dimensional things kind of tumble and fall down. So like it's separating flattened cardboard is being separated at that point. And then like glass bottles or cans or plastic tubs are tumbling down after they go through this like giant wheel. It's like a water wheel, essentially. Yeah. Then there's like other conveyors that stuff now is falling on. And then like different bits of plastic will be flying along on that. Anything metal gets sucked up by magnets. Anything that has enough nickel in it.
Awesome.
Like so all the cans and stuff that are magnetic, it just gets sucked up to this giant spinning magnetic thing. It's like a series of wheels and conveyor belts that are going. And then at some point there's jets of air so the sensor is picking up, reading what's coming down on the belt. And then these jets of air will shoot. It's like, calculated when to shoot and blow individual pieces of trash into different bins.
Whoa.
Automatically.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Sick.
It's great. And it doesn't look like when you watch it, it's just, a stream of stuff and different things are going in different directions. You're like, oh yeah, okay. But it's like each giant wheel is picking up different bits of trash and then sorting it independently from there. And then I think the very last thing, I think glass is the last thing that gets sorted. It's just essentially just kind of keeps sifting and falling to the bottom of the pile. And at the end, you have glass. And you have three different kinds of glass, like clear, brown, or green. And they have to be separated. So like, clear glass is just like the basic elements of glass. And then I think brown and green have different mineral, like iron or different minerals that are mixed into it and then used for different things. But you can't recycle it all at once. So it still has to be sorted. Just crazy. I think like 75% of the glass is clear. When you think about beer bottles, they're brown.
Or green.
Mm-hmm. It's protected from
the shitty ones.
Yeah. To protect it from UV, basically. It's like sunglasses for...
Well, not the green one.
Not the green one, no. No. Disgusting beer. Yeah.
It's gross.
Better drink it quick. Yeah.
Rolling Rock.
Yeah.
Heineken.
Mickey's? Is Mickey's a beer?
Malt beverage.
It's malt,
beverage, yeah.
Yikes.
Okay, so everything's been sorted by this phenomenally advanced
It's cool.
sensor and conveyor belt system.
There's the one that services New York City. This is called, I think the acronym is SIMS. SIMS?
Yeah,
I think it is.
I think so.
It's a pretty state-of-the-art facility, and it handles
big time.
Thousands and thousands of tons of stuff every day. I mean,
yeah,
every day.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But yeah, it is cool to watch though. And it's just trucks.
Most of the videos that you'll see on YouTube, news outlets, and they go to this facility, and take a tour. It's pretty incredible. It's a lot of shit.
So what happens after it gets sorted?
It gets bought. It gets baled. So
yeah, separated, baled, shipped out,
or crushed if it's glass. Depending what the material is, it gets somehow packaged for transportation, and then it gets bought by recyclers.
Hopefully.
So that's one of the issues we're facing right now. Is that
facing the national sword is what we're facing?
Yeah,
which is such a badass name for something like this. It was the beginning of last year. China, which was basically the dumping ground for almost the entire world, said, we're going to cut this way down. So they're accepting like 1% of what they did as of 2016.
Yeah, and for a long time,
is-
the model was, we buy a lot of goods from China.
Mm-hmm.
So there are these huge like cargo ships coming across the ocean with thousands of containers, and then they're unloaded here. All those like refrigerators and cell phones and whatever the goods are in there. And instead of sending them back empty across the ocean to get more stuff, China said, "All right, well, we'll buy your recyclable material, fill those empty containers, and then they'll come back. We'll recycle it, and we'll sell you more stuff.
Yeah.
Some of which will be made from that stuff, and if not made from that stuff, then plastic bags or something." So it was a great system of just like we're buying stuff, we're trashing it.
Yeah.
They're buying our trash and using it to make more stuff, and the cycle continues. But yeah, 2016,
It's too much trash.
too much.
And we don't want it. Thank you. So one of the biggest problems is there's even the recyclable stuff is so dirty that it's unrecyclable to them. 70% of the world's plastic went to China. And in 2016, the U.S. was exporting almost 700,000 tons a year to them. Just us.
And now we
nuts.
can't do that.
Now we cannot do that.
Where does it go?
Well, no other country alone can pick up the slack. But because there's the system has been so squashed by that, some municipalities can't, either it's too expensive to do, so they'll raise the rates, or they'll put more restrictions on what they're going to take.
Wait, I'm sorry, raise what rates?
What we pay for them to take care of it.
Okay.
So, or they'll just stop doing it. And that's unfortunately happened in a few places.
And so China was buying it from us, and now we're paying other people just to take it?
Well, we're the first person that we're paying is, waste management
Right.
to take it from us. So in the city,
Like we personally, like taxes, taking care of that.
yeah, 89% of that shit was single-use food packaging, which
Like Keurigs and...
the K pods, the
Clamshell, like
yogurt containers.
those like
to-go silverware.
Yeah, and
Yep.
those to-go containers that are basically, it's like a hinged piece of plastic that kind of snaps together.
Mhm.
You can't recycle that.
Mhm.
It's just trash.
Right.
So every one of those you've ever seen is in a landfill or the
Yeah.
ocean.
Ugh,
A lot of it goes in the ocean.
that's so fucked up.
Yeah, it'll be the same thing before too long.
Yeah, and I think it's worth just thinking about the logistics of it. Other countries that are buying this plastic and stuff, they can't really bring it too far from the ocean. It's just cost prohibitive to buy it and then drive it 500 miles.
That's why it's
inland.
cheaper to send it to China than it is to send it across our own country.
Yeah.
Just put it on a
nuts.
boat.
Yeah, but on a boat.
Okay, so but once these other countries take our old stuff
Mhm.
that we've sorted and baled and put into shipping containers, what do they do with it to recycle it?
Depends on what it is. So if it's like paper and cardboard, they just repulp it. So it goes through a process of getting like chipped and chewed up into, duff, I guess. It gets soaked, so any like all the inks or anything that's like in the paper gets kind of cooked out of it. Then it's dried and then like repressed into paperboard or recycled, like printing paper. The paper that any paper you find that's recycled, it can be recycled back around. Then same thing with cardboard. So it kind of gets broken back down to like the base elements and then remanufactured. There was I think, let's see, some of the first recorded use of recycled paper was in the 9th century in Japan.
Whoa.
So recycling paper, and that's something too. I was thinking about this during this research. Up until the recent past, everything was recycled. Like landfills started, I guess, with cities.
Yeah.
But even going back to Athens, there was an ordinance that you had to bring your waste a mile from the city.
Wow.
So like going back that far, like over 2,000 years, there was this sense of like, okay, if you want to throw something away, you need to walk a mile.
Yeah, but they also didn't have anything that they really needed to throw
Right.
away
it's
that
waste.
wouldn't disappear. They
like
had their clothes, cloths, and
human
clay
waste
stuff,
and food. Yeah.
Mhm.
weapons. They had some metal stuff, but all of that.
Could be reconstituted. And the same thing,
Right.
but it's
They
fairly
didn't have
recent.
anything, like, beside food waste, they didn't have anything that was just sitting there.
Yeah. So it's fairly recent that we have stuff that is like this is no longer usable.
Yeah.
And
Because we had to figure out ways
I can't throw it away because it's not going to erode into, it's not going to break back down into its base elements on its own in a measurable time frame.
Yeah. Because we had to figure out ways to ship things way far away.
Oh, yeah.
Keep them contained and fresh. And the only reason that any of that stuff exists is for monetary purposes. And the only reason that recycling works or is done or will continue is if it's financially
Viable.
Yeah. And if it's not, then it's not going to happen.
And it sure sounds like it's not going to be.
It's not right now, really. We're in a pretty
That's
dark place.
That's a hard thing too. When we get used to what we can recycle and how we can do it.
Yeah.
If that changes constantly, it's
Yeah.
very difficult to keep people
Yeah,
engaged.
fuck it.
Well, yeah, it's hard enough if you just have to sort something between your paper and your plastics.
Yeah.
I can't. Nobody's going to do it if it's more options than that.
Also,
We already talked about
in
that.
a world of e-commerce, like those cardboard boxes that come, that they're kind of like basically wrapped in plastic that's like glued to the
Yeah.
outside. It's worse to recycle that than
Yeah.
it is to put it. They basically that will jam up a machine,
hmm
and they have to stop production at the MRF and take that thing out of there.
Yeah.
So like as more and more stuff gets shipped just straight to you, it's not getting shipped in like, here's a steel shipping container to your house that we're going to reuse a million times. Here's a cardboard box. Like, we can't just be cardboard or wrap it in plastic. That is no longer recyclable unless you are motivated enough to peel that plastic shell off that cardboard box and then just throw the plastic away.
No, I just got a new toy. I'm not going to spend
Right.
any more time with the packaging.
This drone is not going to fly itself.
Done.
Well, maybe it will.
Yeah, whatever it is, I'm just going to pull it out of the box and forget about the box.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
We like to believe that we're doing a good thing by putting stuff in the recycling bin,
No,
and then they're going to come and
he doesn't like it.
I don't care.
I've never thought that.
Well, people will care. That we put it in the blue bin, and then it gets taken away, and it gets turned into park benches and recycled art and shit like that.
See that? What I
doesn't
think
really.
is, I think people
Most of the time.
people like that feeling.
Yeah.
because they don't know what is happening.
Yeah, they don't,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
Put it
don't
in
really
the
know
bin
what
and
they're doing.
forget about it.
Yeah.
And they think, well, it's not bad for the environment because I recycled it.
And I think
That's what I don't buy.
the big-
I don't know what
the big,
happens. We put it in a shipping container. And send it to China.
That's the point.
the big
We
issue
don't.
is too people recycling things that aren't recyclable, thinking, well, even if it isn't,
They'll figure it
maybe
out. Right?
maybe it is.
It is.
Yeah.
We are putting the onus on
They'll
them
get
to
it to the
figure
right
it out.
They'll get it to the
people,
right
right?
people. Someone better.
I'll just put my batteries in here,
Yeah.
and they'll figure out,
Yeah.
what to do with the batteries.
yeah, in the compost bin. Yeah.
yeah.
That's another thing. We do need to do a lot more composting. There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
So composting, I'm all about because that makes sense.
Well, those Whole Foods containers that your salads and stuff come in, those are compostable.
Yeah, if I had a compost, I'd do it. Isn't the landfill, if it's compostable, isn't it fine if it goes to the landfill?
No, because it gets trapped. No air gets to it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And those Whole Foods containers, they actually had to pull them because there was a cancer-causing chemical.
Are they actually compostable? I don't know that you're supposed to put those in the bin. Actually, I think they're compostable in the sense that if you put it in a landfill, it might break down.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was a
but
little
it's not going to
confused
like
about
turn
that.
into more nutrients
No,
for your roses.
I don't
right?
know.
Like,
I don't think that means you.
that's what I think of compost. Compost
Yeah.
is you put it in there and it makes the soil more nutritious.
that green bin is just yard debris and food scraps.
yeah.
But
and Whole Foods containers.
Yeah. With food in there.
There's a farmer somewhere going,
God damn it.
yeah.
Hey, I got another bad batch of compost from the city again.
God damn it, Whole Foods.
How are we going to get these Brussels sprouts
Well,
up in time?
That's the other thing with like pizza boxes and stuff.
Yeah.
Most of it is recyclable if there's no grease and stuff
Yeah.
on it. So you can rip out, around the bottom,
I'm sorry. How do you
Recycle
get
that.
no pizza grease in a pizza box?
on the bottom, but take off the top, put that in recycling.
I'm already throwing most of it away. Why would I just throw the rest of it away?
Something like half of the food in the United States is wasted.
Yeah.
Isn't
crazy.
that fucking insane?
Yeah, I see that day in, day out.
Do you
Yeah.
guys throw food away in the trash?
Very little. I mean, like
I don't throw food away.
Right.
I put it
Sorry.
I
in here.
can't remember
I
the last
put it
time.
away.
That was my
Yeah.
mistake. I'm sorry.
Yeah, even if I don't like it or I'm not hungry, I'll
Yeah.
finish it.
I put it away.
Is it
Put it in the
poison?
fridge and I'll
How
finish it.
poisonous? Yeah.
If it's really bad, what I do is I just throw it in the yard in some capacity.
Yeah.
There's a little corner over there.
Throw
Don't
it
go
to the
there. It's
ants.
probably covered in bees and ants. But nobody goes over there, so that's where I'll throw my apple
It's Martin's
cores.
place.
Yeah, it's Martin's place.
Home of the Last Supper.
Yeah. That's where I throw all my jars of pasta sauce.
That's the other thing, which I was not clear on. You can recycle that jar, not the lid
Not the lid.
Why can't you recycle the lid?
Different plastic.
or metal.
Here's
Or
an
metal.
idea.
Metal.
Why don't they just wash the lid and send it back to Prego? And then
That'd be
Prego
great.
can just...
Be great.
It's a whole thing.
That sounds like efficient recycling to me. I'm no scientist. But why even break it down in the first place if it's just going to fit right back on top of the jar?
Yeah, reuse.
Yeah.
The other thing, remember when we did? So we've done an episode on plastic
Yeah.
years ago.
I recall.
Yeah,
Don't remember any details.
exactly.
Yeah.
Episode 4.
What I do remember is I think we talked about not putting the cap on the bottle. You should do that because even though it's a different type of plastic, that will get separated in the tank. That plastic, I think it's the hard plastic that'll float. So it's still reusable after it gets broken down. And it keeps what might be left inside from contaminating other things.
Now, here's the other thing. As we're talking about this, so we
We have
live
documents here.
we live in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
The
pretty
things
good.
that we can recycle,
Yeah, it's tough.
are
Like, there's a
different.
lot of states that just are all trash.
yeah.
If we're just sending it to China anyway, what does it matter?
But a lot of it ends up in landfills anyway.
Yeah.
So what
Why
we're
are we
saying,
spending all this
The
time
thing-
and
the
energy
things-
sorting it?
in the off chance someone
Well-
in Nebraska is listening to this,
Yeah.
you need to just like look at, you need to contact if there is recycling in your area, you need to contact them to figure out what is.
There is no
recycled.
national
Yes, certainly.
recycling plan.
Don't contact us.
No,
No, we can't help you.
No, but the point being, that there's a ton of material that is used every day that is recyclable,
Mhm.
but whether or not you can recycle it where you live it's
Yeah.
random.
Ever been to Texas?
It's just trash.
All of those Lone Star
All the trash from Portland,
beers.
all like
Garbage.
the landfill trash from Portland gets sent 150 miles east of here, and it's just
To
dumped.
Idaho?
No, no, just out to the sagebrush flats of Eastern Oregon.
Pendleton?
Yeah, almost Pendleton. Past
Ontario?
that's almost Idaho. Yeah,
It
it's
is
Idaho.
pretty
yeah.
much.
Yeah, it's the border.
It's
Yeah.
right there.
I bet I'd be so pissed if I lived there because I couldn't go 80 miles an hour like you can in Idaho.
Yeah.
But you can just watch it.
Yep.
You can watch it happening from your doorstep. That place is gross.
Gross. What place? Idaho?
Idaho.
I agree.
Yeah, Idaho's
I
terrible.
hate driving. to
Northern
Idaho.
Idaho is beautiful. The southern
Most of
full
it's
of
garbage.
racists.
is 2/3 is terrible. Just don't get out of the car. Just drive through.
I'm gonna go on.
Well, I
record.
have no problem with racists.
Oh, right.
You know. In general, I mean, I don't condone their behavior, but
Yeah.
they usually don't bother me.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
You
know what I mean?
I
Right?
do.
Like
I
it's
do.
not.
I do.
no, we're taking baby
I usually
steps.
don't get very
We're taking baby
bothered.
steps here. We're just
Look,
gonna.
I've. Racists don't bother me. Okay.
All right.
Racism does.
Don't. Martin Wallace. Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah, ists are just people prone to errors. Isms, you should refine that shit.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
You put it on a t-shirt, you can read it. Okay?
Right.
You can see that it's wrong.
Yeah. It's good.
Are we clear? Okay, Idaho sucks. Okay.
Agreed. Oh, shit.
Anyway,
What are you talking about?
Plastic.
all the trash from Portland.
All the trash.
This is like a 5-year-old story about Portland trash, so it's probably more at this point. But it says 5 days of every week, 60 trucks set off from Metro Central and South transfer stations. And they go east for 150 miles to the Columbia Ridge landfill near Arlington. Then they drive the 150 miles back to be filled up again.
Mm-hmm. Over and over.
So 60 trucks just like taking Portland's trash away. And it must be more at this point.
Oh, yeah, well, we have so many more people in now.
It's like 100,000 more people. So
And
it's
what happens to it when it's there? We just put it in a big
just
hole.
buried. First, it gets chipped, basically. It gets broken, like mulched. So all the trash just gets broken down into somewhat like the same size pieces. So whatever it is ripped apart. And
So birds can eat it.
well, they'll not for
Why?
long.
Dogs. Stray dogs.
try,
are playing
Yeah,
around.
let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's make it so that all the little animals can just
No,
nibble on it.
it gets sent to like a compactor. So it's like
Yeah.
it's just chipped down into something and then like basically baled again.
Yeah. Reduce the mass as much as possible.
Yeah. Each truck is 34 tons. That's crazy.
Whoa.
That's pretty good.
Man, when you see even just one location that all of our individual bins are being taken to, see all that stuff at once, it really puts it into perspective. It's a lot of shit. And it's constant.
Have you guys been to the Metro like dump place where you just go and back up and throw stuff into a pile?
I actually really enjoy it, though.
I do too.
It's really weird.
It's really
cool.
It's very satisfying.
Yeah, it's really bizarre. And if you look up, you can see the enormous amount of people they have working on the conveyor belt sorting stuff.
there's
It's
like a-
so weird.
There's like a wall with like a second room behind it that
Yeah, civilians can't go in there. That's for government trash.
yeah.
That's the government
Pepsi.
trash.
Right.
Something horrible. Yeah, but looking in like this pile of stuff is like just bags and old suitcases, and then it's like a dresser
Yeah.
from a bedroom, you know, and like a
Get this out of
bed.
here. Yeah.
Brand new
Sure, a lot of
children's
beds.
shoes.
Oh, it's so,
sad.
dark. man.
What?
Wait. What?
I'm saying it's dark because I've definitely thrown away brand new children's clothing.
Yeah, not going to need this.
Well, they grow too quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pro tip: if you have kids, don't buy any clothes.
Yeah. It's a
Don't.
waste.
Don't spend any money on clothing.
Oh, cute baby clothes.
Not for the first year.
Yeah.
And then after that,
Just get them a onesie.
that's all they wear.
Yeah. They're not going out. They're looking to impress.
Where are we at?
I don't know, man. Let's talk about some more stats. I got a bunch of stats here.
All right, go for it.
Americans throw away 2.5 million plastic bottles every hour.
Holy.
Water bottles are fucked. I always feel bad if I end up using one.
I judge you whenever you have one.
Yeah, you should. I usually don't buy them.
Yeah, people hand them to you, like an Uber
yeah.
driver, or,
Yeah. But there's so fucking many of
Yeah.
them.
which also needs to stop.
Yeah. We just need to cut that shit out. No more Ubers.
Yeah, or Uber's handing you water.
Yeah, I don't want your shit. Just
I'm
take me
not
where I
gonna
need to
puke.
go.
It's fine.
I'm
drive.
fine.
Awful for the environment.
Yeah, you're terrible. Driving around in your car with your emissions.
And they think
Handing me
that they can just
plastic.
put hazard lights on and
Just
double
park
park
anywhere.
like that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sorry, Uber.
It's
Yeah,
cool. I'm an Uber.
Yeah.
yeah, not fucking cool, bro. And you also drive for Lyft because Uber sucks.
Yeah.
Like you can't make
Everyone
enough-
drives for both.
I get it. Yeah.
They all have both stickers.
Your little pink mustache, which is probably not recyclable.
Probably not.
Yeah. Or the batteries from their fucking Priuses.
Definitely not.
No.
Yeah. Awful for the environment.
Yeah.
That's a whole different problem.
Let's go back to cabs. Okay. Like Americans.
Okay. yellow
V8
cabs,
Crown Vic,
gas guzzlers.
493,000 miles, 7 miles to the gallon.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't own that car.
No.
Yeah.
So you're going to take real good care
No,
of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, be careful. Only 9% of the 8.3 billion metric tons of the plastic that the world has produced in the last 60 years has been recycled.
That's actually not that bad. 9%.
9%
That's pretty good.
of 8.3 billion metric tons.
Going back 60 years.
Yeah, and we didn't even start recycling
Didn't
here.
really start.
Yeah. Well, it's still not
In the
good.
70s.
That was with the bottle.
With the
deposit,
bottles, yeah. But I mean, we definitely weren't recycling plastic for a little while.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
I'm still confused.
Yeah, I think most people are. It's a problem.
What are we doing with it when we ship it to China?
Well, see, there's the thing.
Like the
It's
plastic.
not our problem anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
It's easier to just make
No,
it not our problem
and
anymore.
I think a lot of it ends up in like just open landfills.
Mhm.
Right. So that's what I'm confused about, like a stat like that. Like, oh, it sounds not good that we've only recycled 9% of the billion or whatever, but like what of that 9% was a successful
Right.
recycling conversion?
Well, I think the
into-
9% is it actually was recycled.
Yeah, I think
like into a new product, which
Yeah.
then might not have been recycled. So how does that
Maybe.
affect the stat?
well,
if it was
you-
recycled successfully one time,
that
is
point,
it still the same?
there's an energy savings on producing it brand new again. So there's
Mhm.
still like probably net positive.
Aluminum,
Aluminum is tons of energy
Yeah.
to produce.
it was surprising. It's awesome.
No, I mean, and aluminum is to manufacture aluminum. I mean, at work, like
Mhm.
that stuff.
Yeah, what I meant is recycling aluminum saves,
It saves a
lot
ton.
of energy.
To actually mill aluminum. The only aluminum mills in the United States, at least, are
Yikes.
they're like next to hydroelectric dams. Like some place that has like cheap. The power is cheap
Mm-hmm.
because if you did it where you had to pay, like there's no aluminum mill in like Hawaii. You know, they have to generate a ton of power just because it wouldn't make any money to do it. So yeah, so recycling aluminum I think is huge from an energy standpoint.
Yeah.
More so than like
Okay.
plastic with the environmental impact is not great. Just plastic in the ground, but with aluminum, definitely the energy side.
Okay. So definitely recycle aluminum.
Yeah.
Every 3 months, Americans throw enough aluminum in landfills to build our nation's entire commercial air fleet. That's a lot.
That's crazy.
Did they mean by size or by weight?
I don't know. That's just what the sentence
It's
says.
very different.
Yeah.
It must be.
I mean, if you're just like building airplanes out of thin aluminum and like not concerned with the structural integrity of
Yeah.
whether or
must
not they
be
could
must
fly.
be weight.
But if it's by weight, that's shocking.
Every 3 months? I believe it.
That stat would only make sense if it's by weight. Because if it was just size, it'd be like, if anyone found that out, it would be
Yeah, but that's what these kind of attention
that's true.
grabbing anti.
yeah.
Yeah,
You on
that's
BuzzFeed?
No.
This is just that pro recycling agenda,
We were talking about right at the beginning.
right? That bias. Okay.
So part of the problem, part of the solution to the problem of not being able to send all the shit to China is not very appealing, but it's burning the stuff in order to turn it into energy.
For years, there were like buyers coming, not just from China, but mostly representing the Chinese companies. Just like, what do you have? We'll buy it. We'll buy it. We'll buy it. We'll buy it without a plan necessarily. So they were recycling stuff, but they were buying way more than they were recycling. And then stuff would just end up in giant piles.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense with like the paper. We can just burn the paper. So I see the impact, the beneficial impact from that being that we don't have to produce as much paper, and not necessarily that it's like good to recycle the paper. We can just burn it to get rid of it. But the plastic we need to find a way to get rid of. But we can't just be burning plastic. That's not a solution.
No.
Even
But
if
if
there's an energy.
We need to produce less of it.
Yeah,
But also,
by
if we
far.
don't
That's
recycle
not
the
gonna
paper,
happen.
if we don't recycle the paper, then we're just chopping down trees.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I
mean,
see the
yeah.
benefit of recycling it just from stopping a production value. But we could just be getting rid of paper otherwise. But we can't do that with plastic, right? We can't just burn it.
It lasts a long time.
That's a long time.
Philadelphia is now burning half of its residents' recycled material.
Why don't we just shoot it out into space?
We're gonna have to eventually.
Why aren't we just doing that? Just
$10,000 a pound to send something into space.
Wow.
Yeah, the government can do that,
a
right?
lot
We
of
have
money.
NASA.
do the math.
That's the
Do the
national
math on your body
recycling
weight.
program.
Mm-hmm. That's $10,000 a pound.
It's a pound or a kilo. It's one of the two.
Is that if you do or do not already own the rocket and already have a plan for shipping it up there?
It's
Yeah.
probably some different math there.
Elon.
But I think it's 10,
We can
10,000
probably get it down to about $8
I
grand
think
a
it's like
pound.
10 grand a pound.
Get me in the room. I'll talk him down to eight grand a pound.
We'll negotiate.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but okay. Imagine we get to a point where it's like fairly cheap, and also, what else are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Why don't we send it to Mars?
No, I think.
And we can build little.
I think the foreseeable
plastic huts.
future is on Earth, and I think it's.
What about a giant slingshot?
I mean,
Sounds
Because we
cool.
don't need it to come back, right?
no. Yeah, and then the slingshot. It'd be interesting because the slingshot would have to like leave the atmosphere, so the gravitational pull and like the catapult end of the slingshot, it'd be like weightless, but then there'd be all this tension from the slingshot pulling it back down to Earth.
Ooh,
Be a weird, like, I don't know, weird physics of that.
NASA can figure it out.
Yeah. Come on, nerds.
Yeah, with all that funding that they're getting, should figure shit out. Right?
Right?
Right. Okay.
I don't know. I think recycling is like, do you kind of feel like it's, I thought we were further along than we are.
I did too. I didn't know. I mean, and this problem of not being able to just dump it in China is a problem for us, but it was a problem for them. That's why they're doing
Yeah.
it. It's not like they're like trying to fuck us. They're trying to take care of themselves. There's too much shit that they can't do anything with. So they're just filling their own land.
Also, that little symbol, the recycle symbol, does not mean it's recyclable. That little symbol with the number in it, all that tells you is what kind of plastic it is.
Right.
For plastic, yeah.
For plastic.
It doesn't guarantee that it is recyclable. You can figure out by the number what is most likely to be recycled. I think 1 and 2 is the most commonly recycled.
4 is not. I can't remember.
Who knows what the fuck those numbers mean?
For us in Portland,
I mean, I have the notes.
it's if it's like
Just listen to our podcast on plastic. We went over it.
Did we talk about the
numbers,
types? Yeah. Shit. I think I should listen to that.
We were probably wrong, just like we were wrong
Could have
about
been.
the whole lid thing. Like,
Yeah.
we'll listen back to
Well,
this
that
one
was the
about 4
prevailing
years, and we'll be
idea.
very wrong
Yeah,
about a lot of
could
the
be.
stuff we're talking about tonight.
Could be.
We'll amend this.
I mean, that was the prevailing idea, to
2023.
separate the lids.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
we can deal with it now.
This still says no caps or lids on metros or waste management.
Yeah, what year was
Well, that's
that?
garbage.
Fake news.
Yep.
Fake news. This says as of January 2018.
It's been over a year. I bet we figured it out. This is depressing.
Plastic caps. In most larger communities where mixed recycling is the sorting system, like us, it is generally preferred to have the plastic cap back on the empty plastic bottle or jug before you put it in the recycling bin.
But again, that's saying it's a general thing saying, but so our municipality is saying no caps or lids. This is why it sucks. Because
Yeah, maybe we haven't bought that device yet.
the bottom of the plastic one.
Remember, no caps or lids. What the fuck? Huh.
See, this is from Portland, Oregon.
We also increased the types of bottles that you could take back. It's not just beer and soda carbonated stuff. It's most things now.
I always thought it was.
It was not.
Oh, you mean like to the deposit?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I like just meant recyclable in general.
PortlandOregon.gov. Discard lids.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I printed these out just for my house, not just for the podcast. Just because like I can't remember this stuff.
Right. So this is a perfect example of why you got to look into it for yourself and who's going to do that.
But the good
We
news
hope you
is that means that we were right about 4 years ago,
do. Yeah.
which means that we're probably right today, and we won't have to be amending this episode, except for the part when you were wrong,
Right.
which we are amending now.
Yeah. Sure.
So that's good news.
Done.
Cool.
But even at our house, like I think we heard on NPR or something that like, oh, you can't recycle milk cartons because they have a wax lining.
Yeah.
They don't. They haven't for years.
Wow.
And in Portland, you can. So again, this is from Portland's website.
Yeah.
It says for paper, magazines, newspapers, catalogs, phone books, scrap paper, junk mail, cartons, so like milk, juice, soup, shredded paper, cardboard boxes. Sorry. Yeah. So even like what's on the news and then how it affects where you live.
Yeah.
You may or may not be able to recycle.
Shit.
And
Yeah.
I think what ended up happening is like those containers, those cartons that like used to be wax lined.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an aluminum lining in there now, and then or some metal. I think it's aluminum though, and then there's cardboard on the outside.
Yeah.
So it's recyclable.
You definitely can't recycle plastic bags. Don't put those in the recycling. They'll jam up those machines we're talking about.
Yeah, and the problem with that, and like styrofoam is another one, is that there's such cheap plastic, and it's just like so much air.
Styrofoam's bullshit.
Styrofoam is mostly air.
Why does it still exist?
I've been trying to throw away styrofoam.
Again, Texas, everywhere.
Yeah,
Styrofoam.
but it just takes up so much space, but it's not worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
So to recycle it, it's like, okay, I'm going to send a truck that would hold 30 tons of crushed aluminum.
Yeah.
Which is going to be worth tens of thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, or same truck and it's like 500 pounds of styrofoam, and it's not worth anything.
Bullshit.
So that's why it is recyclable. There's just no market for it. We could break it back down into something. Say there was cheap plastic bags, but you have to ship them back across the ocean to some Asian country at this point. That's like the only part of the country, part of the world that's equipped to recycle stuff like that. And China's not buying anymore. So
China's not buying.
landfill.
Damn it.
I guess, doing your own homework for where you live.
Yeah.
For me, we have 2 kids, and like just the amount of trash you generate goes up. Just more people in the house, the trash, like actual trash just goes up. So I try to recycle as much as possible, just so I don't have like a full trash bin every 2 seconds and turn around, So part of it is practicality for me, that I'm not going to put like cardboard boxes in my trash just because I got poopy diapers that have to go in there and the kids, so. But if you lived alone and you had a giant recycling bin and a giant trash bin, well, I only have to bring one bin to the curb if I throw it all in the trash.
Yeah, but
I can totally understand like that. I have a long driveway. I don't want to make 3 trips every week.
But in our case, the garbage bin is like half the size of the recycling bin, so that's not even really possible most of the time.
I had to up the size of our trash bin.
Yeah.
So now our trash bin is the same size as our recycling bin. It's not much more money, actually, if you guys
Really?
look into it.
Thankfully, we don't need it. We typically don't fill it up all the way.
If you don't, then don't.
Yeah.
But it's also the other side of that is, if you are recycling things that are not recyclable, then you're doing more damage than
Unfortunately,
good. So get the bigger trash barrel, because at least it's not gumming up the system.
Unfortunately, the prevailing rule should be, if you are not sure, if you're in doubt, then throw it out, because you don't want to make more problems than it already are. So do your research in figuring out what you can recycle, and if you can't, don't put it the fuck in the recycling and just make more problems. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
What was funny about that?
Oh, I was just thinking about how that will lead me and more people to just not
Yeah.
Probably.
recycling. That's not a solution.
It is an unfortunate
Yeah.
thing,
That's
but
not.
If you don't feel the pinch in your own life, like it's tough.
Right.
I'm just going to be in doubt.
I'm in
lot.
doubt all the time.
So I'm just going to
throwing
throw it out.
Why are you wearing a blindfold in the kitchen?
Doubt?
Oh,
Doubt.
I have no idea. I'm full of doubt.
Trash day.
No aluminum foil, no plastic or metal utensils, no plastic bags, no styrofoam, no plastic wraps or wrappers should ever go in recycling. Okay?
Can't recycle silverware?
Well, no. But also
You should melt it down. Turn
plastic-
it into more forks.
plastic utensils and stuff.
Right? Put it back in
It's
the...
cheap plastic. Again, it's like the same thing. It's just the super cheap plastic that's not really good for anything else. So
Single use.
it's just
right.
not.
Single use is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
We've got to cut that shit out. And you know what? In the age of email, we got to stop sending junk mail. Almost, I mean, a large portion of the stuff that I put in recycling is junk mail that doesn't even get open.
When that stops turning a profit, it'll stop being sent out.
Yeah.
There you go. Recycling is a lucrative business. What is it? 200 billion? Yeah, it's a $200 billion industry in the U.S.
How much is operating landfills though?
Right?
I bet it's more. In 1987, it's kind of like when recycling was starting to really pick up.
Mm-hmm.
I just like this story. There was a trash barge, like big ship that, all the trash from New York has to get sent somewhere. So you put it in a boat and then someone's like, oh, we have a landfill, you pay us and we'll dump it down here in South Carolina or something. And so there's this trash barge called the Mobru 4000. And it like set sail with all this trash. And then there's this whole political and social firestorm saying, stop dumping. And then no one was buying trash. So this ship just spent months going up and down the coast looking for anywhere. And then it had all this like media attention on it. So like I'm sure the crew was like, guys, let's fucking dump it in the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, just take off. International waters. What are you going to do?
But it's just like, it was like NBC and ABC's helicopter news. For months, this thing was just going up and down the coast. Just going,
man.
What do we do with this? And it's flash forward 30 years and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
We don't know what to do with it.
Stop making it.
In the same year, actually, New Jersey made it a law that all residents had to separate their trash in recycling.
Wow. New Jersey? Cool.
Some union, probably.
Yeah.
Come on. Waste management, anybody?
Yeah.
Was that Chris Christie?
Yeah. Chris Christopherson.
Is that his name?
It's something. Chris Cuomo.
It's a guy.
Kringle.
Yeah, the big guy. Wasn't he
It was Christie, yeah.
the governor?
Yeah.
The guy that
Was that his decision?
he had a small party size thing of M&Ms and he was filling it with the jumbo size one. He was refilling his M&M container with more M&Ms. These are the pictures.
That's recycling.
I'm going to look at that picture right now.
That's very good. I always I get him and the drug addict mayor from Toronto confused.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's
Rob
dead.
Ford.
Yeah.
Woo, boy.
He's dead.
Oh.
Remember we covered that on Waking Up Wallace.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you know what the penalty is for not sorting your trash?
Death.
Execution.
No, I don't know. I mean, I imagine it's a fine or something. But I mean, how is it enforced?
Right.
Like the garbage man can't be
He's not.
the enforcer.
Yeah.
Right.
He's not making enough money to like get into a fist fight with you at the end of your driveway.
Maybe it's a thing of like repeat offense
yeah.
warnings. Like, look, we're finding you're not doing the right stuff here. Get it together, or you will be fined.
Yeah.
That's not my America.
Right.
That's better for the world for sure, and I get
Yeah.
that, but that's definitely not the country I want to live in. They find me for not, I'm at home.
Yeah. Big government.
And I do what I
think
want to
so.
do at home, and you're going to take it away from my home because I pay you, and then once it leaves my home, you can do whatever you think is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You're not going to find me for things that I'm doing in my home,
Yeah.
right? That's not
gonna
very
get me in
American,
trouble. I don't think so.
right?
That sounds right.
Yeah, not having it.
Did you hear Rob Bishop, the congressman from Utah, talking about the Green New Deal in terms of it being a genocide on the
What?
Western states?
What?
Yeah, and he basically said like he got called out like genocide is about like the extermination of a specific ethnic group or racial minority. And he said, "I am ethnic. I'm a Westerner."
Oh,
What?
no.
Yeah, this guy's
So
Oh,
a lot
no.
of dopes in.
That's
in
how you lose
positions
your
of-
job.
Yeah. What the fuck?
he's refilling M&Ms with M&Ms.
Why?
Chris, what are you doing?
I'm sure he's sharing with whoever's next to him. But
Yeah, that's still
it's
amazing.
bad
What a
optics,
great thing
man.
to catch. Wow.
It's good.
Dum. Well,
I don't know. I feel like do your best. I don't know what to tell you.
it's hard, and I was hoping that we could at least help and not confuse anymore. But it is something that you have to take responsibility for and think beyond yourself, your home, your city. It's a worldwide problem, and even the littlest bit that you can do is going to help. But there's a reason, and we've kind of lost this phrase of reduce, reuse, recycle.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is like, especially in the United States, where it's not the developing world. We have like the next step for us is like reduce.
Yeah, we're the ones producing and using all of this shit that is not getting recycled.
We're the ones buying. We're not necessarily producing.
Yeah, we're
Like,
consuming. Yeah.
Yeah,
but
we're producing the desire for it, or the
you
Right,
but-
that's
for
what
the
I was
business
saying
for it.
in the beginning. It's like, I'm not going to buy somebody else's old stuff. I'll do that if I go to Goodwill, if I want like some candle holders and I don't care about them, like very specific things. Or I'll go shop for, like, see if I can find a deal or whatever. But like if I need a vacuum, I'm going to go buy a brand new vacuum and it's
Yeah.
going to have a warranty. And if it breaks on me, I'm going to send it to them and get a new one and they can throw that one in the trash.
yeah, but
Right.
but if the plastic that vacuum was made out of was recycled, would you care? Like if it was brand new?
Oh, no.
Like,
I
it-
just don't think
yeah.
that's how it's going to
No.
be made.
Right.
Yeah.
But you're not opposed to like recycled material getting to you.
You're not,
No,
you're not a
no,
bad
not at all.
person,
Yeah.
right?
No, I just don't believe really in recycling. And I still don't after this. I
Oh,
really,
Idaho detour too.
Yeah.
Whew,
Boy.
man.
look, I'm not a racist. I'm just saying racists don't bother me. Yeah. Physically.
I'm not a recycler.
but recycling.
Recycling finds its way back to
Yeah,
me.
it
Yeah.
bothers me.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, there's a reason recycling is the last thing. Reduce and reuse is what we should always
Yeah.
be going for.
Yeah.
There's reusable grocery bags. Those are really underutilized. We should all be doing that.
We started doing that, like shop online and pick up
Yeah.
your groceries. It's all just the plastic bags.
Yeah.
And I think
I thought we got rid of plastic bags locally.
no, not at the Fred
Maybe,
Meyer.
maybe you're not allowed to get them for your own groceries on the way out, but maybe that's how they use for the delivery stuff, which doesn't make any sense
yeah,
to me.
that's-
But
Yeah. I don't know. And I guess maybe there's an option to request like paper bags.
You would think so. You might have to pay like 5 cents or whatever.
They're basically only going to be used. They're going to put it in my car, brought home, and instantaneously put in a recycling bin. So it's not like it's.
But you can also try to buy in bulk. I mean, the single-use stuff is just a major problem. And if you do the bulk stuff, you don't have to use the plastic bags that are there for that. You can buy reusable ones for that as well.
Yeah,
I have these little mesh bags.
My
that are
parents
great.
bought some of those mesh bags. There's some that are for produce too, which is good. Like,
Yeah.
especially like we just go through a lot of groceries now, and It does feel kind of like you're taking the. I bought this fresh organic vegetable, and like here's just a piece of trash that is wrapped in or like plastic. I don't know. This one was kind of bittersweet.
Totally.
Like, I mean, I feel like I'm conscientious and recycle as much as most people. I'll take an extra couple steps to recycle. And at home, I think about stuff before I throw it away. I think about stuff before I put it in the recycling bin. But there's, I think other than like you need to stop buying junk, like stuff that's made to be thrown away.
Yeah.
Because there's already enough stuff that is not recyclable that comes into our lives just inherently.
Yeah. We've already fucked up a lot.
The single-use stuff, though, is like, it's just a waste of time.
Yeah.
That's the part, I mean, I think it depends on what the type of person you are. Like, I don't like waste just because it's like, it's a missed opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
There's an environmental impact that I also care about, but I do think that like the environmental impact is going to be played out over probably thousands of years at this point. But I think like the wasted opportunity of this was only put on this earth to be thrown away one time, and instead of spending the R&D dollars to find a way to reuse this process, we went the cheap and easy way, which is profitable now.
And convenient.
It's convenient now to make it a single-use item, where it's like it's one of those things where I have a sense that it's like there's someone who's going to have this bright idea that is in front of everyone that no one else has thought of. That it's much more profitable to make it a reuse process than it is to make it a single stream. Like there's nothing coming back to you, you know. Like there needs to be like a visionary who can.
Yeah, I mean
otherwise, I mean, it's way easier to make it. We make something, is used a single time, it gets thrown away.
Yeah,
and you just keep making it, and you keep making money. There's not a lot of incentive to like ever change that model.
No,
unless it's proven to be 10 times more effective to do it a different way.
Yeah. There are people that are spending a lot of time and energy trying to better this process and make it work. We also just need to make it easier for people to do.
Yeah.
Less confusing.
Yeah, I think unless there's like a government subsidy though, or for some reason.
And why shouldn't there be?
I think it will come to a head that it will be more expensive to dig raw materials out of the ground than it would be to recycle what's already existing. And then at that point, there's an economic model that says it's more cost effective to recycle material.
Yeah.
And then you'll have corporations picking through trash piles looking for, yogurt containers. If it's a government subsidy, I have a feeling they would mess it up royally.
Well, yeah.
Because it would end up costing more money than what we're getting back.
Yeah.
And then it becomes a failed government program. And then it becomes cheapened,
Yeah.
I don't think the government paying for it is like the way forward. I think it could be incentivized in other ways.
Yeah.
There could be like tax credits, something like that. But as far as like every year the government spends, $14 billion on recycling efforts, they would find a way to mess that up.
Yeah.
And it would probably, we'd spend $14 billion and we'd get $1 billion's worth out of the program. I think there's a different path forward for the future that also moves faster than what the government would do. I think the government is, it's a battleship that it needs a mile to turn around.
Yeah.
And
we as individuals need to care in the first place, and in order to make the effort to do what we can instead of just saying, I don't care.
Yeah, I think as technology progresses too, there must be a way to track those sensors at the MRFs that are they're looking at the spectrum of light that this stuff's kicking back. So they know what kind of plastic, not just that it's plastic, but like this is 1 through 7, and then this is that's paper, that's glass, whatever it is. As that technology is more and more refined, it will miniaturize, and then that technology potentially could be put like on a truck. And if there was some way that truck is analyzing at the curb what you put in your bins, and it's showing that what percentage of recyclable material you are recycling correctly, and then there's some incentive like we'll cut your trash bill.
Yeah.
So like right now, we spend like $85 every 2 months. I think because they do like every 2-month thing. And if they said we'll cut it, if you're 100%, we'll cut it in half. It's like, all right, that's $40 that I don't have to leave my house for. Like I'm throwing it in a bin.
Make it easier.
And if the city is saying what is recyclable, so not just like in the world, but like what we accept as a recyclable. So you say here's a clearly defined set of parameters of what is recyclable, and then we have a system on the truck that is scanning every bit of trash, stuff that's in the trash bags, and the stuff that's in the recyclable bin, analyzing everything and saying like, this month you were at 87%. Here's $30 back.
That's cool.
That'd
be great.
Or the government, the state or federal government saying, if you're above 85% at the end of the year, $1,000 tax break. Like something, if it's that kind of program, I think the trash truck model would be more like a private enterprise, like Waste Management or whoever the pickup would be doing it, would be incentivizing stuff. If they owned the processing facility, there'd be that motivation for them because it's stopping you gumming up their system. They need that to operate at 100% because the margin is slim enough as it is.
Yeah.
If it's the government giving you a tax break, I think that's a government program that they can do pretty well as long as someone else is collecting the data. They don't. They're not trying to crunch the numbers. They're not using computers from the '60s, like the IRS.
Right.
So I think like those are ways that would motivate people. Those are the ways that will motivate people that don't already care.
Yeah.
Like you preaching to the converted on recycling. We're not gonna whatever the percentage of people that actually are conscientious of recycle on a daily basis now. It's going to be hundreds of years before it like doubles. If it's 30% of the population, like you're already talking to people that agree or have decided they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
So what do they care about? And if it's money, fine, find a way to incentivize it. If it's just social credit, find a way to incentivize that. But yeah, I think sitting around, waiting for the government to do something is probably, but we don't have time. It's a time issue. If we had a million years, sure. But
no,
I think
we've expedited the problem.
And it's just seeing the way that bills pass now or don't pass now.
Yeah.
There's just no way that in the next 30 years there's ever going to be a bipartisan bill, federally especially, let alone on the state level, that would mandate and be effective in people putting this type of plastic or this container in this bin and not that one.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to work. I don't know. Yeah. So I think if you already care, that's great. And if you don't, maybe we need like an opinion poll on why.
Yeah.
And also, what are the ramifications if we don't?
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll see that way before. It'll get worse before it gets better.
Yeah, and I feel like so in 85, 10% of America is at a recycling participation rate. I wonder. So being at 100% recycling rate is one thing, but it depends on what is recyclable.
Yeah.
And if it's 100% of what is recyclable where you live, That's not 100% of recyclable goods.
Yep.
You know, so like, yeah, again, like those the way these lists and it's statistical like forgery, and I see this all the time where it's like a number of something compared to a percentage of something else.
Mm-hmm.
It's like those are two different things.
Yeah.
Right. Even like this last stat, like 10% participation rate
Right.
doesn't define participation rate.
And it doesn't find what's recycled.
10% of what?
And it's also
10% of people one time during the year put a can in a thing. Like, what does it mean? 10% of the goods were recycled?
the way I read that is that 10% of the potential for recycling was done. So like maybe 50% of the country, there's no recycling available.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So now we're talking about 5% of the population could be recycling or is recycling on this.
But also this is how you're reading it.
Right.
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 This seems like an optimistic read to me.
But there's a ton.
Right.
No, I have a ton of questions about this too. Like,
Yeah.
So 10% nationwide recycling participation. So if there's only 30 towns in the country in 1985 that have a recycling program, 3 of them actually did it. Like that's another way that this could be
Yeah.
could be read.
Or 10% of places that potentially could have had one had one.
Had one,
Mhm.
right?
Don't know how effective they
Don't
were.
know how
or
effective it was, or the only thing that was recyclable at the time was paper. That I have no idea.
Right.
Maybe it could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it has to be painless. It has to be simple. It has to be foolproof. And there is the other side that technology again could solve this problem. Where instead of having separate bins at all, there's a facility that just sorts trash from recyclable. It's truly
I hope
single
we get
stream.
there.
So
Yeah.
So like
Let's not let the individual decide at all
No.
whether or not they recycle.
you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
You don't
Right.
have a choice.
You also don't make a choice.
Right.
Right.
You
You're
don't
not
make a
forced
choice,
to do it. It
exactly.
just happens.
Yeah, I think
You
that
put it in a bin and you forget about it, like Disney World.
that to me is more ideal.
Right?
Yeah.
Just goes onto a conveyor
of
belt
course it's
underneath
ideal.
the city.
It's just not. It's not possible yet. I
Not
think.
yet.
But I think this thing with China has really put a strain
Yeah.
on us, and it's going to have to push us to get there.
I believe that technology is changing faster than the human will. So it will change.
Because there are enough people that have the will that are using the technology and building it.
Right.
that
And I think
will
that
do
there's enough of an economic upside too of saying if you have a technology that will automatically sort even close to like 90% accurately all goods between this is not recyclable and this is recyclable, and you came to a city the size of Portland and said, I want $1 billion over the next 10 years, whatever. Like we would, the city would pay for
A
that.
place like this would probably. Yeah. Well, any last words of wisdom?
Just again on the topic or the stats. In 2011, the state of California had set the goal for 75% by 2020 of all recycling participation. And 1 year later, in 2012, San Francisco announced it has achieved an 80% diversion rate for its waste.
What does that mean?
So it means it's diverting recyclable material that is heading towards a landfill. They're recapturing it and recycling it instead.
Whoa.
So this is stuff that is going to be buried forever, and we pulled it back.
That's what needs to be happening.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's divert it.
What was the stat I had? Something like if we got to a 75% recycling level in the U.S., that would be the equivalent of removing 55 million cars from the roads. That would be insane. That would be amazing. That's a long road to get there because we're only at like 21%.
Yeah.
But
That's still like
that is
12 million cars, right?
Yeah, but we can do better.
It's Let's think positive. That's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
I
good.
mean, if you were to put the stat that way,
Yeah.
that would have been impressive sounding.
Yeah.
You know, we can just triple it.
Depends on who's running for
20,
office.
20 million cars. Yeah.
You know,
But something like 55 million cars to us individually right now, it's like, well, yeah, cool. But what does that do for me? What do I have to do in order to make this worthwhile for me? Like financial incentives.
yeah. Beyond financial incentives, it should be like, so that $85 that I spend every 2 months, in that it should be this, everything goes to a facility that sorts it for me.
Yeah.
So like when the technology is strong enough, or is high enough, and the cost of that technology is low enough, waste management is not going to have to raise my rates. Like, okay, from now on, you spend $1,000 a year to get that $100 million for the city of Portland to give a company, $1 billion over 10 years. If it's still just the same price, and I don't notice a difference, but now all my stuff goes in the same bin,
Sweet.
and it worked, and it's effective. It's not just like
But
smoke and mirrors,
even better, not just figuring out what can and can't be recycled. Let's put as little of the stuff that can't be in there to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah, and that comes back to the economic cost of making new stuff is higher.
And
the raw material has to come out of the ground.
yeah,
So
it has to be.
if it's already out of the ground, reuse it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Just a couple of days ago, I was listening to the radio, and they're talking about something about like recycling or
Actually, there's been a lot of articles.
we have
very
like some
recently.
like ears are ringing or something,
Yeah.
So talking about this stuff.
Just yesterday, there's a New York Times article that I sent you guys.
Yeah. But they were saying that, for most everyone's life, this has always been like our grandchildren are going to be dealing with, or like our children are dealing with that.
Yeah.
And now it's like those kids are alive now and they're talking about this stuff.
Yeah. And wasting a lot of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of live streaming of the protests going on.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah, recycling technology is a whole nother thing. Like printers. I've gone through, I don't know, 3 printers in the last couple of years. Like, make it better so that I don't have to get a fucking new one, or that it's cheaper to get a new one than buy more ink.
The ink, yeah.
That's what I do. Buy a new printer.
Yeah, I know.
That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we're encouraged to get new cell phones every year or two.
Not me.
Not me. I've had one for 5 years, bro. Yeah. I've had a broken TV in the garage that I still don't know where to take it.
Trash.
No, can't put it in the trash.
Can't put it in the trash.
If you put it in a garbage bag
No.
and seal the garbage bag and then put it in the trash, you absolutely can. Yeah.
But
We'll get a notice about that.
Oh, fine.
One time there was
Okay.
like,
who will?
or they just won't take it. Like there was a computer that somebody tried to put out, and they put a note on it like, nope, can't do that. Deal with it.
Well, that's just where it is now, right? Did they realize that? Like, it's not coming back in the house.
Yeah, it's still outside.
It's just there. And you guys should just pick it up.
You can contact Metro Recycling at 503-234-3000 to get rid of your computers, monitors, and TVs, hazardous waste, chemicals, and compact fluorescent light bulbs.
Sweet.
That's another big one.
Yeah, it is.
See if those-
Apparently, most mattresses, like 80% of mattresses, are somehow recyclable. At least some of it.
Not when I'm done with it.
Yeah, but how do you recycle a mattress?
I don't know.
Have you seen those machines that like just grind stuff?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
throw
but-
it in there and
so
ship it.
What I'm saying is, how do you, as the mattress owner, get it to the
How do you
machine?
get it somewhere?
I think I looked it up actually.
You call somebody?
You can basically take them apart at your house, and a lot of it is you can. If you don't want to like take a whole mattress out to a dump or something, you can recycle a lot of it.
That sounds like it requires at least half a day's work.
Oh, I took mine to the dump.
I have.
Right.
There's one in the garage. I don't know what to do with it.
Well, you can call Waste Management or whoever your trash pickup people and say I have a large item pickup, and they send a truck.
That's cool. Have you done this?
Yeah.
What kind of time window do they give you? Is it like
Next pickup, or they'll say, "All right, put it out with the next trash pickup,"
Oh, wow.
or
and they'll pick it up? You don't even have to be there.
How much extra is it?
I can't remember. Actually, the last time I did it, I took a mattress and a box spring out, and some homeless people took
Yeah.
it before.
Oh, that's great.
So you can schedule the pickup, and I don't think they charged because when they showed up, there's no mattress there. It was across the street in the park. So you can
Yeah.
schedule it, and then I don't know if you'll get charged if it's not there. So
All right. Well, I think we said all that we can say.
yeah,
It really is on you to see what you can do and do exactly that.
yeah.
Especially you, Martin Wallace.
I'm not really convinced because it sounds to me
Well-
like we put it into a big sorting machine somewhere and then nothing happens to it.
Or we burn it, or we dump it. But
It depends on what the material is, because like glass and cans and paper, like that stuff is reused.
Yeah.
I mean,
good.
it is worth it. Well,
All right. Till next time, let's recycle these beers.
yeah.
I'm not gonna.
All right.
I'm Darren McCarthy.
I'm Martin Wallace.
And I'm Dan Fury. This has been The Fundamentals.
Ja.
I'm not gonna.
I'm not.
No, I do.